Hello there. Last night, violence flared in Saggart, southwest of Dublin in Ireland, as the people protested after one of their girls was allegedly vilely attacked by a newcomer. A newcomer to Ireland, who reportedly should have been deported back in May, allegedly did the unmentionable to a 10-year-old girl. Something that sent the Saggart blood pressure soaring. And they descended on the local City West asylum seeker hotel, where the alleged perpetrator was said to be housed, forcing a harsh response from the Gardaí using the public order unit in full riot gear, the mounted unit, the dog unit, air support and a water cannon, with 6 arrests being made as they faced protesters on horseback and the torching of one of their vehicles, with the Gardaí accusing people on social media of stoking hatred and planning the violence. But I'm not sure why they had to give the Rebel News reporter Ezra Levant a face full of pepper spray. And of course, all violence must be condemned, except that meted out by the establishment. And further, attacking GB News reporter Doogie Beattie and his camera team, knocking them to the ground. With Doogie saying, "We have been attacked by police themselves. We did what we usually do. We get between the lines and then we let the police go past the lines. But the Gardaí thought it'd be better to pepper spray us and then actually smash into the camera woman and then smash into the camera, knocking us to the ground. In all my time as a reporter doing this in Northern Ireland, I have never ever seen this police attack the media. They have done that this evening, as well as another photographer." And further, he said that the police officer looked at him and made the conscious decision to attack him. Just more of the rising level of acrimony between the woke internationalist communists and those patriotic people who believe in having their own sovereign country to live peacefully in. And it is the woke internationalist communists and their supporters who hold sway over the politicians, the police and the courts, and use them ruthlessly as they impose their unwanted policies on the majority of us. And further and more alarming is that the woke internationalist communists fervently believe that young girls and local communities must be subjected to all this and become mere collateral damage as the whole world order is completely overturned in favour of some sort of dystopian controlled rat maze for the rest of us to live in. And the Western establishments that have been following this no borders policy for years is suddenly experiencing pushback from their voters and taxpayers as their lies are exposed. They lied about newcomers being better than the people of the country they came to. They lied about them all escaping from tyranny. They lied about us having the responsibility to accept them in because of our past misdeeds from centuries ago, as well as global warming. They lied about the economic benefits the newcomers would bring. Just take the UK, for example. We have our largest population in history. But our Chancellor Rachel Reeves is searching under every sofa she can find to try and balance the nation's books. Now, most of you watching right now aren't subscribed, so here's what you need to do after liking this video. Press the subscribe button and then hit the little bell and select all. That way you'll get every single video the moment it's released. And if you don't, you're going to miss what's coming. Now, if even a tenth of what we've been told about the benefits of immigration before the borders were opened up was right, then we'd be awash with wealth and plenty, wouldn't we? But we're not, and it's only going to get worse. an ever more heavily built on country containing ever more people, but with a decreasing level of public services for the rest of us, while we watch hotels and houses being used to house newcomers and doctors prioritising them. And despite the massive influx of highly skilled people, our government and businesses bleat on continuously about a massive skills gap and demanding we import even more people. And as far as I can see, that is mirrored across much of the Western world. And this is not some sort of weird accident. This is the culmination of decades of purposeful misrule. And the people in those countries are now catching on, much to the horror of those engaged in this heinous misrule. So is it any surprise that over the years our police forces have had to become more militarised? Not in order to protect us, but to protect our overlords and masters and their now preferred demographic. You'll know when things are coming to a head in the UK when we follow other countries and reverse the ban on the use of water cannon in England, Scotland and Wales. Now, according to the Irish news outlet RTE, the scene commander at the Saggart incident, Chief Superintendent Michael McNulty, called it a public gathering organised by disparate groups on social media who stir up hatred and violence and encourage others to get involved. RTE also reported that Garda Commissioner Justin Kelly described the scenes of violence during a protest outside an accommodation centre for international protection applicants at City West as thuggery. RTE also said that Gardaí had intelligence that violence was being planned last night and issued a call out 2 hours before the protest commenced to trained public order officers from outside the Dublin region to report for duty if available. Adding that officers from Kildare, Laos and Waterford travelled to Dublin to assist. And they ended up facing some 2,000 protesters with hooded and masked men throwing missiles and fireworks at them. But as ever, it's always those who believe in their local communities and their countries that are these days labelled as the wrongdoers. The ones who come out in protest to protect their vulnerable and their heritage and way of life are the evil ones. And that, wherever you go in the woke-controlled West, is the biggest crime of all. And you know that when you measure the sentences and bile handed out to those people, compared even to those that commit the most hideous of acts against our kids. As I've already pointed out, those are regarded by our political masters as just casualties of the war being waged by the woke internationalist communists against the rest of us. But when a crime is committed against a normal citizen, the police response is usually glacial, with claims there are not enough police officers to go around, and claims that they can't stop the newcomers doing what they want, especially regarding those hateful pro-Hamas marches in places like London. But one whiff of the ordinary citizen getting upset about how they are getting treated, and suddenly you're up to your neck in officers with horses, dogs and riot gear. Now, the Irish Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, said the violence was caused by people who wish to sow dissent in our society. The ordinary people do not want dissent. They are demanding that this mass inward migration of people is stopped and their way of life is protected. Something that used to be the duty of all governments where their people are concerned. What the people of the West are actually facing is governments determined to import as many people from around the planet as possible without any attempt at integration, and then browbeating their people into integrating into the new foreign and unrecognisable country being formed, ultimately by force, around them. It is therefore our establishment masters who are sowing the seeds of discontent, and they know it. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below, and a big shout out to our channel membership and Patreon supporters, and thank you for watching.